Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Everyday Prosperity. I'm Laurie LaMantia, and I'm here with wonderful Tricia Fiske.
Morning, everybody.
Okay, it's Monday morning, and my mouth is like blah, 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 blah. So today we're going to talk about this topic that's huge, like most of the topics we try and talk about, and it's the concept of home. And a couple weeks ago, Tricia and I were talking because I was feeling really out of sorts. I was feeling lost in a lot of ways because things change and people come in and out of your life, and it was really throwing me off. Like, I felt I didn't have a home, I didn't have a place, I didn't belong anywhere, and it was really starting to depress me. I mean, like, give me anxiety and worry and fear. And when I was talking to Trisha, she mentioned that it is interesting when we don't know, or are in search of a home, a place to be. And it really got me launched into this concept of home. And, in your brain set, and we're yogis, and we've heard the idea that when you're at home in yourself, then, wherever you go, there you are, you're home. And my brain says, yeah, 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 I understand that conceptually, but my body is still requesting that felt sense of home. And I'm gonna, there's a lot more in that, but I hope it's coming forward that today we really want to talk about the idea of home. And everybody finds home in different ways. I totally respect that. Home is when you're with your kids, or home is when you're with a loved one. But, for me, I don't have kids. And of course I have, there's people that I love in my life, but I still was feeling unhomed, unconnected. And so that's what we want to dive into here. And of course, there's no particular answers. It's just an exploration in a willingness to understand, that sovereign place that is our birthright as home in ourselves. I hope. So, Trish, I'm going to turn it over to you because I really want to flesh this out so we can, have this conversation.
Right. Well, it's tricky because there's so many outer distractions,
Totally.
and it's really easy to keep looking for like confirmation that I'm loved, that I'm protected, that I'm safe, that I matter outside for that feedback. And I think it's our typical pattern of what we do. We look outside ourselves for confirmation, even to our animals and our
Right.
pets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, please acknowledge that I matter here.
Right.
Right.
Right. And so in my meditation, I just started asking for peace in my own home, just
Hmm.
this peace in my own home. And it was fascinating. Yesterday, I was really stressed out over some stuff that was going on, and I'm fostering a kitten and
Mm-hmm.
trying to blend it with an older cat who's really crabby. And
Mm-hmm.
um, right. And, you know, anyway, won't go into that too much. But so I was really stressed out. And I thought, this is the perfect time to sit and meditate
Mm-hmm.
and just see what happens. And I wasn't even convinced that I could sit and meditate. You know what I mean? It's like, all right,
Yeah, your
well, we'll
brain's
see
like,
how this
boom.
goes. Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny, it seems like the times I sit to meditate with the least expectation is when I have the most beautiful
100%.
session.
That's
Right.
right. That's the
Right.
notion of meditation. You allow the unlimited to do its magic. We've talked
Right.
surrender a lot here, right?
Right. But I could feel like my blood pressure going down, my anxiety lowering, just, and after I was done meditating, I didn't think about the things that I was so stressed out about. It's
Hmm.
like they totally floated away
Mm.
for the rest of the day. And what I kept thinking is, this is me being at home here.
Yes.
And
Right.
everything else will get worked out in the way it's going to in that outer world chaos,
Right.
emails,
Hmm.
texts, stuff
Right.
like that. But um for now, I'm at home here. And
Yeah.
that's felt in my heart. I'm pointing to my heart.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
was gonna say she's
That's
pointing to her heart,
right.
everyone. She's at home in her body,
I'm at
in
home
her
in
heart.
my heart, in my physical body. But it was really an acknowledgement and a actual experience of feeling that.
Right. And
And
it
again, at a time when I least expected it. Okay, we'll meditate. We'll see what happens. Blah, blah, blah,
right,
right?
right. And and that's a beautiful story, and it's a beautiful reminder, that because all those elements, right? I chose to sit. I chose to clear my space, my mind of the clutter, because meditation, if we can, we're turning the mind off. And
Right.
then, the choosing to commune or connect with the unlimited, with the energy. And the energy, this is the cool thing is the energy's always there. And we just get like you said, distracted. And when I am in that place, I do feel at home. But then when I go to human Lori, who feels, in the duality, she's doing what you said. She's looking around. What about that? And that thing's gone and that thing's changing. And, there's so many things that are human stuff that make me, I'll say, forget. And I don't want to, I guess that's like we've been talking about, that's the human thing, but I I would like I would like to not forget so much because it's this home thing is really to me right now important. This coming
Right.
home, wherever I go, there I am, and there I am at home. And not only am I at home, but like you said, this unlimited intelligence is there. The unlimited love is there. The unlimited grace is there. And I feel that, and now I want to, even take it even more into the world with me. And maybe that's why things are changing. So I get even more committed to walking it, feeling it, you know, and not as a part of a doing or an earning, because, that's the habit, right? Well, if I write a little and if I do some good girl stuff, then I'll get to have it. And I've said this 1,000 gazillion times. Um, but somehow that felt sense. And before we started talking, you said, well, that you had talked to some people and they said it's when you are at home in yourself. And that felt sense of what I wanted, not just have the thought in my mind, but the actual full-on embodied experience.
Right. Right. Yes. Really feeling, really being there, really being present in that.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, there's this book that a long time ago, it's called Orbiting the Giant Hairball. And when I was in corporate, we read it, and we actually had the author Gordon McKenzie come to talk about it. And he's this really sweet older man who wrote this book about don't get sucked into the corporate hairball. But I think it's very appropriate because life is a hairball in a lot of ways.
I
There's all
know.
kinds of snarls going on. And and his concept was just orbit it. And he tells this beautiful story in there where, when we're born as little teeny babies, there's like a little blank scroll tucked under our arm when we come out, when we're born. And it's our, it's the blank book, the blank canvas of what our life can be. And he said, but, instead of us getting to write on it when we're first born, people take it and they're like, oh, let me just write a few things on there, and start painting on there because, they're young. They don't know. They're babies. So your parents write stuff on it and your teachers and your friends and your society. And so then it gets turned back to you like at 16 or 15 or 20, and it's got there's no space on it for you to write and for you to create and 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 I keep thinking about that right now that, we get scribbled on in a lot of ways. And, and like you said, the rules about what is home and where, who with what and how. And I think I'm trying to go back to that blank slate, that I was born with, that knew the connection, that felt the unlimited, that remembered and it wasn't separate, didn't get dualitied or something.
Right. Well, the science now, neuroscience now is telling us that our brains have a default mode and it's made for protection. And the more we just go back to that place, that is the mode that takes over. That's just our automatic pattern. When we start to pay attention and we start to say, like, here I go, I'm on that spiral again. I want to come back to home, then that actually can become our default. But it
That is
takes,
going to take a lot of neural pathway grooving.
but but it takes us again. Keeps coming back to this present moment. It takes us paying attention, saying, "Oh, here I go again, spiraling over all this stuff. I want to find, my home, my peace." So the more we pay attention, the more present we are, the more we take ourselves, direct ourselves back to this space of home, the stronger it becomes, the more of a pattern and habit it becomes instead of the spiraling.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. And you did that when you meditated. You said, I'm just gonna, you know,
Give it
stop.
a shot.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Right.
I'm gonna just give it a shot. Everything I'm doing ain't working, so.
Right. I mean, I could feel my blood pressure raised.
Mm,
I was so stressed out. And it's like, no, I got a choice. I
hmm.
can stay with this, but it's just going to spiral more because I can't fix any of these things in the next 5 minutes.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, I think that, and even when I go and sit down with my meditation, sometimes I'm still in, I will quiet my mind so something can get fixed. And I think that's cheating. I'm not,
Right.
I shouldn't say
Right.
think, and, and, and I don't intend that. I think as we're talking about this, I'm really feeling sit down and be at home. And I have this little book at my meditation table, and it's called I Love Us. I love us when we go for a walk and, just explore. I love us when we go swimming and feel the cool water. It's like a children's book, but I use it because I remind myself that it's me and the everything. And I love us just hanging out and being together. Somehow it touches my heart to say, you can relax, you can be at home right here, right now. And I love
Beautiful.
you. Yeah, and love is a big part of it to me too. I don't know, the love part matters to me. I was talking to Mark, who he does a lot of Zen Buddhism stuff, and I'm like, it's so cold. I need more love. I mean, more juicy, not just mindfulness. I need love and okay, mindfulness, but love, you know.
Right. Oh, so I have found a poet. His name is Steve Taylor. Um, and he's written this book, Back to Stillness Poems for Spiritual Awakening. And so I want to share one. These are just beautiful, but this one is called The Deep Self. There is another self inside you, not the restless self that ruminates about the future and the past, not the fragile self that craves for attention and is wounded by disrespect, not the anxious self that can't live inside itself and reaches outside for distraction. There is another self inside you that doesn't consist of concepts, that isn't sustained by thought, that isn't enclosed inside your body and doesn't feel separate to the world. There is a deeper self that rests quietly, almost imperceptibly, behind the tumult of thoughts, like the still blue sky behind clouds. And your deep self is ready to emerge when your attention unlocks from your thought mind and your awareness spreads gently around you. Then your surface self grows softer, more porous. Spaces open up between thoughts, and the deep self slowly seeps through like sunlight through dissipating clouds. You feel relieved, as if you've woken from an anxious dream. The problems of your surface self and the dramas of your surface life seem trivial, almost comical. You feel the joy of self recognition, of becoming who you always were, since the deep self is simply you, the essence of your being, expressing itself without disturbance or distortion.
Mm, beautifully said. Hello. That's home, right?
That's home.
That's home. So I guess what I'm feeling, and this is why we wanted to talk about this, is that we do get distracted. It's part of the human get, we're here. There's been scribbles on our canvas. And I guess we do get to, as we grow and develop, we get to remember and return back to that. And like you said, the neural pathways can get created, and we get to feel that protection and all that first chakra fear stuff, safety, security, that we are safe, we are secure, and there's nothing to fix, really. That authenticity, wow, would be cool.
Yes.
Okay.
All
Is there anything else you want to
right.
say about this? And the other thing,
No.
the first thing that came when I wrote about home was heaven is within. That's what's on my notes right here. And I really, really, really want to keep reminding myself that part of the Heaven on Earth project is being at home in your own self. And that's where heaven is. It's not an outside thing. It's not somewhere we go. It's not somewhere we earn. It's not none of that. I think redefining heaven is like so important
Mm,
at this point in my journey.
as home.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And it's that home in self, that
Right.
place that the poet reminded us of. Okay, everyone, well, have
Say,
a wonderful week, and
yes.
we wish you a lot of presents so you feel at home within yourself and you radiate that wherever you go, you're in that magical, wonderful present place.
Right. And if you feel like you're not there, sit yourself down and invite yourself home again.
Yeah. And see what happens. Let go of what you
Right.
think should
Right.
happen.
And yes, especially that.
Yeah. Have a great week, everyone. Lots of
Bye,
love.
everyone.